Hello, hello, my collective. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's well. Everyone's had a wonderful, wonderful day, or is about to have a great one wherever you are. So, before I light up the candles, if you remember from our last reading, this was one of the cards, Big Blessing. This is right on top. Even after, and I tried to shuffle it, it came back on the top, upright. Big blessing coming away, collective. Okay, all right, so let's just first thank our angels. Let's evoke in the Commander-in-Chief, Archangel Michael. Here he is. Welcome. Archangel Raphael, the Divine Healer. Awesome. Archangel Gabriel, the Divine Messenger. Arey kya baat hai, bro. I can already feel the energy. Literally is the Big Blessing energy. And Archangel Chamuel. Let's see this now. Yeah. Thoda sa. But yeah, there is still a lot of residual, what do you say? The ill intent energy. There's a lot that has been removed, by the way. But there is some residual negative energy, to put it that way. There is. But very less. It's residual, like I said. Residual. Stress on that word. All right. But these are the Navratras. These are pious days. And of course, for all the atheists and, not just the atheists, like the general term would be, the umbrella term would be the non-believers. This must really be triggering times, right? The Navratras are like, सोचो यहाँ लेफ्ट में जाओ तो धूप की स्मेल आती होगी, राइट में जाओ तो मंत्र सुनते होंगे, पीछे जाओ तो अगरबत्ती घंटी की आवाज़ सुनती होगी, अगरबत्ती सुनते होंगे, आगे जाएंगे तो अजान सुनती होगी. So I'm sure like these are very pious days, very powerful, highly charged days. Both the Navratras, right? Both the Navratras that are coming, like, so these are, you can clear a lot in these times, all right? Of course, when they are highly charged, very high vibrational, when the atmosphere is, the times are, negative energies also can take, can also partake, in their own things. But yeah, I do feel that definitely for a fact, I can feel that there's a lot of positivity around you. Okay, something just, it's flying away to glory. Hang on. Okay, which one is this? It is okay, everything is flying away right now. Electronic devices. Okay, what about that? But this was not revealed. It was, kind of, hang on, let me just get this bit. Which one is this? This one is Satyug. Oh wow, Satyug. Okay. Satyug isn't that the yoga, like literally Lord Ram's yoga, right? Satyug. Oh my god, there's a lot that is connected to Mata Sita and Lord Ram that I have as downloads, like connecting downloads, not really them. In fact, before I started, I was just thinking about one of the questions that I had briefly raised in between one of my readings, but I did not like really discuss it. And there was a question that I visited Baidyanath, if you remember. And I remember at that temple, if you remember in one of my travel videos, I had put in a very short video from Baidyanath. And it was a temple where Ravan worshipped Lord Shiva, and he literally sacrificed. He did such a hard penance that Lord Shiva, like, his heart melted. And he literally, so Ravan was literally chopping his limbs off, like he's chopping his heads off, Dashanan, right? He had 10 heads, right? He was chopping his heads off to placate Lord Shiva and everything. So that was where Lord Shiva would chop his head off, like sacrifice his head rather, I should say. Duranda dekhe, chopping. Oh, maybe that could also be it. So yeah, Dhurandhar was also sacrificing a lot of heads, but our enemies' heads, by the way. So wonderful picture. I would say that is one of the best Hindi movies I've seen, and and it's made by Aditya. He's, as I've said, has bombed about in the past. We went to school together. All right, we studied together. So go and watch Dhurandhar as many times as you can. Like support our own in the Indian cinema, especially Hindi cinema. All right. Anyways, coming back. So this was a place where I said, like, this is where that the temple is where he worshipped Lord Shiva. Ravan worshipped Lord Shiva, and he was sacrificing his heads off and everything. And that is a place, that is a village or whatever, that district, you call it Baidyanath, where people don't, it's called Baidyanath, okay, hang on for a second, okay. So people keep calling it call it Baidyanath, because as a medicine man, like Baidyanath would, like Vaidya, it comes from Vaidya, that like Lord Shiva would, just like a doctor would put him back into, he would just put his head back in place, and Ravan would go and sacrifice his head again. Lord Shiva, like, just like a doctor, that's the analogy behind it. Like, as a doctor would put his head back, like, no, that's not needed, but he would just he kept on sacrificing himself as a way of showing his devotion to Lord Shiva, showing his commitment and devotion to Lord Shiva, his love for Lord Shiva. All right, so I remember asking this question to myself, not to you guys, to myself at the time, that this place, the villagers here don't celebrate the Shera to almost like to respect, to commemorate his hard penance that he did in that place. I mean, they respected that, he came here, he did that, and he worshipped our God, right? Lord Shiva is our God also, he's all father, right? So he's a divine father. So would I also respect Ravan when it comes to that? Because he was a Charo Vedo ka Gyata, he was very intellectual, he was very learned, he was very smart, intelligent, right? Would I respect Ravan knowing what he did to Mata Sita? I remember asking this question to myself. Would I respect, like, do I respect him? Do I? How do I see him? And knowing my love and my devotion to Mata Sita, would I respect a guy like that, for a man like that who's, yes, learned, has a lot of wisdom, apparently? Would I? And my answer was no. No matter how much gyan you have, and the modern times, you translate that into degrees, right? No matter how many degrees you have, how many Veda you have read, you know what I mean? I'm trying to say. But if you cannot put that to use into it doesn't change your conduct, it doesn't change how you look at the world, it doesn't really expand your brain into knowing that you're only a speck of dust in the bigger scheme of things, right? And you think you are God, is something that, I would never respect that. But I remember, like, asking myself this question, and a lot of people would argue back, see, he kidnapped, right? In the modern terms, that would the term we'll use. He kidnapped Mata Sita, right? But he never, like, he gave her time, like about a year's time, to kind of like change her mind and marry him instead and everything. That a lot of people don't know the history behind it. It's not that he gave her time. It wasn't like that. It basically, Ravan had done something of a similar kind with his daughter-in-law as well. I don't know which son I'm talking about, but one of the sons, he had forced himself on one of his daughter-in-laws also. And since he was Ravan, the Dashanan, Lankesh and everything, obviously a woman and Rakshasi would have no, had no power against, like, she could not bring him to justice. Alright, but she cursed him. She cursed him, saying that, like, if you would not be able to have done this to me, you should not have, and you would not be able to ever force yourself on any other woman, unless she agrees to it, obviously, with her consent, yes, but you would not be able to force yourself on any other woman, ever. That was the curse she placed. And let me just figure out which son was it and which daughter-in-law are we talking about, but that's how 144 on the clock it was. So I'm telling you, that's how it is. So just know that, a lot of people don't know facts, right? It wasn't So he wasn't really able to. I mean, I'm just going around circles, but I don't want to talk like that about my mother, my divine mother, Mata Sita. But you know what I mean? Like he tried his level best to put her in a place, give her, pressurize as much. She was that she's the divine feminine, all right? Was, as, will always be the divine feminine. So obviously she was protected, right? She was protected by the universe. Not just, of course, she herself was a Devi. Obviously, he could not have done anything to her, even if irrespective whether Ravan was cursed or not. All right, Lord Vishnu and Mata Lakshmi, they only took this form. They only take this avatar to teach us a lesson for us humanity to learn our lessons, right? Otherwise, he could not have done anything to her. But having said that, I mean, I feel a little. Okay, let me just take out the names first. Let me just take out the name of the son first. Who was the son? Ravan's son. So knowledge, what I mean to say, knowledge without wisdom has no bearing. It has no foundation. No matter how much you learn, what you do, क्या degree है तुम्हारे पास, क्या कर लिया तुमने life में, but अगर तुम्हारे को wisdom ही नहीं है to be able to use that knowledge, you are of no use. That knowledge basically is of no use to you. And today, in fact, Divan asked me a question about Divan. Wow, everything today is connected. I'll tell you why Mata Sita also came to my mind. All right. Divan asked me this question: which gift do you think, which of the divine gifts do you think would be the best gift, the highest, the most important divine gift? And to my mind came was, I think it would be the gift of love. To be able to forgive someone, to be able to be able to love the world irrespective of whatever has happened to you would probably be the highest form of strength, would be a divine gift, because it is one of the gifts, right? Strength, resilience, love, wisdom, a lot of gifts. Divine was like, no, the best gift, the most highest gift is the gift of wisdom, that divine wisdom that is imparted. That is the best gift. That is the most highest form of divine gift. It's not love. It is not love. It is probably second or third in number, or maybe even below that, but it's definitely not love. It is the wisdom, to be able to understand, to be able to learn from your lessons, to be able to understand what divine gives you, what divine speaks to you. There is so much knowledge in the world. To be able to execute that knowledge in your life is the biggest gift. All right, hang on for a second. One moment. See, so he assaulted, I'm not going to use the triggering word, and of course YouTube's guidelines and everything, and just keeping it respectful. Ravana assaulted Apsara Rambha, who was the wife of his nephew Nala Kuvara. I'm sure I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. Nala Kuvara, and therefore technically his daughter-in-law, right? So he had assaulted Rambha, and Rambha incident, Ravan, so she had pleaded that I'm your daughter-in-law, but he still assaulted her, knowing this and everything. The curse, upon learning this, Nala Kuvara cursed Ravana, stating that if he ever forced himself on any woman again, his head would burst into 7 pieces. Oh, I did not know this, but I thought the daughter-in-law cursed. Oh no, it's upon learning this, Nala Kuvara cursed Ravana, as in the nephew cursed Ravan, stating that if he ever forced himself on any woman again, his head would burst into 7 pieces. So there you go. Even a curse had protected Mata Sita. Look at it this way. This curse had almost acted like a shield for Mata Sita, don't you think? Consequences. Curse is believed to be the reason Ravana did not physically force him. Yes, I know it. I know this. I knew this. I didn't bro, it wasn't that he was giving her chance, I said, no, he did everything in his power to torture her, right? He got her isolated in that Ashok Vatika, right, away from people, away from everyone, and she was surrounded by only Rakshasis, and they were given the brief to torture her and to like make her change her mind. Literally, that was all. Like those Rakshasis, they're frigging I'm sorry. Like I said, I feel really, really strongly for her. Really strongly for her. Alright. So their job, the Rakshasi's job, was to like pressurize her, to like torture her mentally, and to make her change her mind about Ravan. But she did not. All she had was a tinka. She would come, you've seen, I talked about this like about 100 reads back. I remember I did this reading, right? Because that's how literally so basically she had like a tinka. I remember she would come in like in the serials, and you see like she would come in, she would not let him see her beautiful face. Like she would cover her face with her sari like that, like so, and she would have a tinka. And I talked about that tinka also. She would just, because she had nothing else, there was nothing else, she had no weapon, nothing at all, right? She was in her kutia, right, in her small hut that they had, that where when she was like taken away, right? So all she could have was a tinka. She would hold it like a weapon against him. And I asked this question to you guys. I remember asking this question to you guys, and what do you think that tinka was? What it symbolized? It symbolized her faith that nothing would go wrong, that she can protect herself with that tinka, with her faith. Nothing, right? That, what do you think? Like, could she go chop, chop, stab, stab with that? No, she could not go chop, chop, stab, stab, right? But it was her faith against that she can hold her own without, that's her divine protection. That's her God, right between her and Ravan. Okay, so I know why this whole Ravan thing, okay, I was given a download, okay, sorry, but because all of this rushes together, okay, and please, these are downloads, I don't get them in like mujhe koi file mail nahi hoti hai. These are downloads and they come in together. Sometimes most of the times, I would rather say, it rushes together. Alright, the revelations are this connects with this connects with this. It just rushes in the brain. So just bear with me. Alright, when you're channeling, that's how it happens. Okay, so there was one download that was given to me, astral. Alright, and I was just thinking why astral was given to me. Astral, relation to stars, there's a bigger meaning to this astral, I'm 100% sure. So, and I knew this a few days ago. I was given this, and I knew it had a relevance. I was just given this story, and nothing, no context, no premise, nothing. I was just given the story that Padma Puran Padma Puran is also based on Sri Hari. Alright, he's one of his Vishnu avatar. Alright, Padma Puran, like, and Padma is like lotus. So that's the it basically just unravels. It's basically a dialogue between, I'll tell you, the dialogue is between Bhishma Pitama and Rishi, as in sage Pulasya. Alright, now Bhishma Pitama is from Mahabharata, right? Bhishma Pitama. And Rishi Pulasya is Ravana's, I think, granddad, his grandfather, or one of his lineage. So imagine the yugs are different. Kahan Ramayan, kahan Mahabharat Bhishma, and kahan par this Ramayan. So these two entities are talking to each other. It's their dialogue. Padma Puran is a dialogue between these two. And I remember thinking, when Divine gave this to me, I remember thinking that, so they knew about. It was almost like the both of them astral traveled. Because Puran Zamana people had these powers. Abhi bhi hai, Siddhi, astral travel is still a Siddhi. It is quite possible, right? People, and Einstein proved it, right? His theory of relativity. Like time is like, it's, okay, anyways, we'll come to that. But it's, the dialogue between them is only possible if they're doing it on an astral plane. It's not possible in the 3D, right? A completely different yuga altogether, bro. Right? So Satyug, that would be Mahabharat would be which yug? Treta? Which one? Hang on. Mahabharat. Maybe cut it once again. Did we pray to our age? Okay, no, they know we love them. Hang on for them. Dwapar. Okay, so Mahabharata is Dwapar and that's Satyug. How do you think they were having this conversation? And even if, let's say, okay, chalo, conversation tha. How was it downloaded? How was someone able to write the dialogue between them? How was it possible, do you think? Because it was the astral travel was possible then. These two entities traveled to a common plane. Either one, or it could be A travel to B, Bhishma travel to Pulasya, Rishi Pulasya, or Rishi Pulasya travel to Bhishma. I don't know. I have to give clarity on it. How did they, meet actually astrally? But I remember thinking at the time that the first thing that came to my mind, of course, they astral travel to a plane, where then having conversations with each other, like about various things, about especially Lord Vishnu and his avatars, then how has he been like critical to humanity's journey, and everything. So it was quite, and today, and I got astral I got today. I literally, fresh out of the oven. Today I got astral, and I knew at the time that Divine's pointing on that story. There's something that related to astral travel. It could be my collective that, coming to you guys, right? It could be that you guys, one of you or many of you, I'm definitely sure not all of you, but one of you or many of you have been given this siddhi now. You can astral travel. Alright, now you have been able to like break through. You have awakened to another level now. And awakening, a lot of people, I was also corrected this way. You might just feel awakening is like, oh, you get free and something comes, yay, and there's a partly a spiritual party. No, kuch nahi. Awakening is painful. In fact, I remember sharing this again, one of my 100 reads back. I said this. I remember my read, and then at the time it used to be that the other way around, only my cards visible. And I remember talking about it. Awakening, spiritual awakening is like you being crushed and then powdered into, like literally powdered, refined to crush your identity, your ego, your knowledge, your being into, crush it into a ball and then piece you into powder. Like literally you die so many deaths. It is the most painful thing in the world. Physical pain it doesn't even run close to it. It is that painful. All right, so when we say we got a gift, we got this, we came through, we had a spiritual awakening, so people don't know what kind of hard work, what kind of spiritual warfare, what kind of inner work, most importantly, we had to do. We had to endure to get to that level of spiritual awakening. So first of all, congratulations to whosoever has unlocked this gift. And this is not like for everybody. It is like only given to very specific people that Divine kind of trusts that you would be using this power. You would use this power for good of humanity, good of everyone else, good of the universe, and you would use it like, you know what I mean. So I knew somebody would. This is astral. It is an astral travel gift. I knew it. So whosoever it is, congratulations, bro. First of all, coming out of the awakening. Like on the other side, I won't say out of it, as in you're on the other side. You've like gone through the door now. It doesn't get easier. You get used to it, but it doesn't get easier. But now you know what's up. It's not like you won't be surprised of the pain. You won't be surprised. It'll only get tougher and tougher and tougher and tougher. But now you know it does get tough. And so at least that surprise element is gone. So you expect the pain. But congratulations. This is a huge reward. Whosoever has got it, being able to astral travel is a huge, huge reward. All right. So I remember thinking about this, like I said, when this Padma Puran thing was given, when these two are talking, like 100%, I knew it then only. There is definitely some gift that is related to this astral travel. And today it was like, kind of like clarified to me. Astral. So I'll tell you what my notes were. Astral relating to, it is Huh. Let me just open because my notes were very rushed. So let me just open this. Open it on my laptop. Hang on. Please tell me I saved it. I didn't. That's quite strange though. Yeah, there is no way I would not have. Hang on. Yeah, got it. Okay, so what is, let me see my notes. Yeah. Okay, there's another angle to it also as well, right? Okay, so let me first talk about the astral. You got the astral travel, right? I don't have to like flex on that anymore now. Okay, so it also talks about astral as relating to or resembling the stars. All right, so this is for an earth angel or a light worker who's a star seed. You know, these are like terms I'm sure a lot of you would not be like very familiar with. And if at all, see, a lot of this, in fact, I would say most of this, rather, I was right the first time around. Most of this is it's esoteric and it's meta. So if it makes you feel uncomfortable, please do me a favor and please just bow out of this. You don't have to be here. This is not mandatory for you to like listen. If it doesn't make sense to you and it just makes you anxious and just confuses your one gray cell, please don't be here. Don't waste our time. Go on, like I always say, go on Facebook. That's the place for you. You shouldn't really be here. All right. And if you still choose to be here, just keep an open mind. All right. Try to learn new things maybe. Anyways, so it is astral. Why was the term astral given to us? So it generally, by definition, it means like relating to or resembling the stars. All right, and I also got not a download, but it was okay. You can call it a download. It was like brief information that was given to me about Arcturian, light workers, people who have Arcturian seeds. Like, again, these are like I'm talking about people from like different planet who come here. Those are people who are like not totally human. They are half from another planet. Okay, you have people from another nationality. They could be like from a different planet, but they could be apart. Like they could be half human and could be half from another planet. But when you come from another planet, there's a lot of other worldly powers that you come with. All right, that you have to like. They're not like you don't like. Of course, you're born with it, but you have to awaken those powers. They're not like ready made for you. You don't just grab stuff like this. ऐसे नहीं होता. There are other powers that you'll be able to vibrate higher. You'll be able to like connect with different realms. Those are the kind of powers you're talking about. All right. So it relates to or supposedly a non-physical realm of existence to which various psychic and paranormal phenomena are ascribed, and which the physical human body is said to have a counterpart. Again, so let's say Bhishma Pitama is sitting in his yog. Rishi Pulatse is sitting in his yog. They haven't left, like they haven't traveled as in ऐसे नहीं कि होता rocket की तरह travel नहीं करेंगे. Their astral bodies, like their spirit, as in, so it's just said that we have a spiritual self. I keep talking about as 3D self or a 5D self, right? Your higher self. That higher self is the one that can travel. You can project out. If you have a siddhi, that means you have ascended to your higher self in this plane. That higher self can also, like, I wouldn't say just a soul. Soul is a very umbrella term, right? This is a part of your soul that can, a part of your soul, a part of your essence that can transcend realms. All right, this is how Bhishma Pitama and Rishi Pulatse was able to talk. They were sitting in their own yogs, but they were able to travel to a realm where time is of no relevance. There is no time. There is literally no time. Time is a human construct, right? So they were able to go beyond the these human boundaries that we have erected in our minds, in our environment. They were able to, and they were able to like catch up with each other, I would say. Similarly, see, it talks about the same exact things. What is astral? It is relating to a supposed non-physical realm, all right, something like 5D. Very simple terms, I call it the 5D always, right? A realm of existence to which various psychic and paranormal phenomena are ascribed. Again, paranormal, why? Because in our day-to-day life, this would not be called normal. All right, and again, this is related to a lot of esoteric stuff, so paranormal, right? In which the human body, the physical human body, is said to have a counterpart. So that counterpart is the one that travels. Okay, so what else was that? So you are a star seed, whoever you are, whoever got this astral travel siddhi. I just want to like, don't want to dance around it too much. You are a star seed, and there's a very high. You could be Lemurian, but I do feel you're an Arcturian. I do feel you're an Arcturian. I got that Arcturian. There's just so much that came in such different pieces. Arcturian I got like, I think about 2 days ago. All right, that was a day. I got it on Friday, the day I was supposed to come up with a reading. That is when I got that Arcturian thing. All right, astral came in today. This Padma Puran, like Bhishma Pitama and Rishi Pulitzer talking. This I got, I think, on Thursday or on Friday evening, something like that. So came in all in different pieces. They came in all separately. So could be very highly Arcturian. Think, just research about it, and you could be a star seed. Again, why am I dancing around it? You are a star seed. Okay, you are definitely 100% a star seed, and this is a siddhi that has been given to you. Dwell on it. Okay, that's it. I don't want to dance. All right, so what else? Number... Okay, something about a crucible also was given to me. Okay, I'm going to just do my... Okay, one by one. Crucible was again given to me. So again, this word was just crucible. And I did not even, quite honestly, I did not know like it's the exact meaning of it. All right, it's almost like in Hindi we say khaka, right? Like a melting pot. It is quite literally a melting pot, like which you use to like... So, okay, let me just take out the dictionary term for it. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of information right now, right as I'm speaking. So it could be, the reading could be quite staggered. Just please bear with me. All right. Crucible is a pot in which substances are heated to high temperatures, metals are melted, etc. All right, in order to bring them like, that's a melting pot. Very simple terms, right? Just metals ko melt karte hain, like to put them like, to bring them to a liquid form, wherein so that it could be molded into something else. All right, so again that same thing, you've gone through that awakening. Imagine being in a crucible. वही है एग्जैक्ट जो मैंने अभी एनालॉजी पहले यूज़ करी थी, जो 100 रीडिंग्स पहले यूज़ करी थी, वही है. जैसे मैंने बताया कि पाउडर बनाया था भगवान आपको, डिवाइन आपको इतनी all you die 1,000 deaths. Spiritual awakening is so painful. You die 1,000 deaths. All right, like, so it's literally the same thing. I talked about the solid powder form, divine is talking about the liquid form. Like, तुम्हारे को इतना, it's being in a spiritual awakening is like literally being in a crucible. You are melted, your identity vanishes. You are made into a different person altogether. It's like diamond ko कहते हैं ना, like pressurized. It's like a carbon that is pressurized and then it becomes a diamond. Correct? The hardest, the strongest, the shiniest, and the most precious substance on earth it becomes, right? That's exactly the same way. Crucible is like you being, so divine is literally talking about you being put in a crucible. That is what your spiritual awakening is. That is exactly what you're going to be molded. So if you're going through it right now, my collective, let me, so whenever you're getting this reading, if you haven't gone through it, like you've just not gone through the door, right now, it's you're going to be going through it very soon. You're going to know what exactly it is. You're going to start picking up the pieces. Like, understand your identity will start. Now, divine will start putting you in that mold, how they want you, what they want you to do. There's this mission that you signed up for before you even took birth. All right, so that is what divine is molding you into that. Whatever, if you want, if you're required, if you signed up as a warrior, you're being molded as a warrior. If you signed up as a healer, you're being molded as a healer. If you are, you, why did I say, okay, if you were, you're supposed to be a hero, then you're gonna be molded as a hero. Whatever your mission is, whatever your purpose for your this birth is, why you know agreed to come down to take birth on planet Earth, is now going to start forming. That reason is now going to make sense to you. And once that makes sense to you, it becomes slightly easier. Then you see the pain, you are like, kuch, let it come. That maksad, this is an objective. Remember that in the movie Dhurandhar, if you haven't seen it already, then slight spoiler, okay, you can just skip 2 minutes, literally 2 minutes. I'm just big spoiler in there, but you can skip if you haven't seen it already. All right, so then Govil's character Sanyal, right, then he tells him when they kidnap him from that Punjab police ki gadi, right, when they're taking him for a phansi and everything, they kidnap him for this mission, right? They decide that he'll be Dhurandhar, so he's kidnapped for in order to get his of affirmation, in order for get him to agree to be Dhurandhar, to get him to sign on this mission. He tells him that once you do this, you will not be able to, your old life will not make sense. You will get a maqsad and the old life will not make. He says it very plainly, that your old life will not make any sense. You will get a maqsad. This is exactly that. Once you get that एक बार वो purpose आपको हाथ लगा ले, you just get a glimpse of it, or you just touch it even for a slight second. You know what I'm trying to say? You see it and it becomes visible to you. You see it in your third eye. Then nobody can deter you. That'll be your highest, greatest, strongest motivation ever. That the glimpse of that purpose itself is going to make you that. So if you're going through that door, you're just about to see it. And once you see it, the pain will still be there. It can come even more painful. I'm not lying. And it doesn't get easier for a very long time. I'm telling you that already. But you will know what to expect and you will be able to handle it. All right, that's what it is. So crucible, you're right in that crucible stage. You're being melted right now, and you're going to be formed into whatever divine makes you in, want to make you into. That crucible, that is your that crucible right now. All right, so, and in fact, there's another analogy that was divine gave it to me, that if you ever thought that you're going to be, I don't know, a lot, it could be for, I don't know for who this is for. This is for a woman, right? This is for a feminine energy. This will not resonate with everyone, but I think there's a feminine energy that thought, I don't know, this was given to me, that she thought, or I think she grew up believing that she's a Cinderella and there's a prince, in a sense that, you believe those stories that, there's someone who, there's someone who's going to come, there'll be a knight in shining armor that'll come and save you. Let me break that to you, my girl. You are the knight in shining armor. You are the one that's going to save other people. Let me be. This is for a feminine energy. I'm telling you, this is not for a masculine energy. It came specifically for a feminine energy. That you think that you are going to be saved. My dear, you are the savior. So divine is waking you up, awakening you, taking you through the spiritual journey so that you realize you are not dependent upon anyone else. You are the warrior. You are the knight. You are the one on the white horse. You are the one with the sword. You are the one with the armor. And your mission is perhaps to awaken other people. Metaphorically, you are here to save other people. If you know what I'm trying to say. You're here to save souls. Alright, so there's get that in, internalize it, sit on it, dwell on it, ponder over it. If you think there's someone else coming to, do your bit, no, divine is going to push you through it. I've been through that. So I'm telling you, you're going to be pushed through it. You will be in the crucible, Cinderella. If you think you're on that white horse, you're going to be fighting, you will be warring, You will have the armor, you will have the sword, and you will earn it, and you'll save other people. All right, just so you know, it was so cute when this was given to me. That if I literally said, just tell that, not in a way like not tell that Cinderella, but I'm telling you, like, it was a Cinderella energy given to me. So quite beautiful. So whoever you are, just so you know, just get out of that mindset that you are your own savior. You are not, in fact, again, at the cost of repeating myself, you're not here to just save yourself. You will be saving many other souls, and that could be a part of your bigger purpose. I'm not saying that it could literally, that could just be your purpose, or it could be a part, it could be one of the missions, or it could literally be a part of your bigger purpose. All right, but you will be saving souls. That sword, that armor, you will be using that sword, that armor, metaphorical gifts, spiritual gifts, to save other souls, not just yourself, to save other souls. All right, so that's quite beautiful. See, again, it coming as a, this is, the spiritual gifts bit is quite real. I'm telling you, this astral travel gift is one of the gifts that it could be the same feminine energy I could be talking to who has got this astral travel gift, or you could be, this could be your earlier self and your your advanced self, I want to say, because you could be going through various versions. You will die on a monthly basis or on a weekly basis, depending on how fast divine wants to go. All right, and you'll rebirth, and again death, again rebirth, death, rebirth, death, rebirth. Every time you take rebirth, my dear, every time you take rebirth, you'll come out even better. But this is going to happen. It's very painful, but it'll be like I said, death, rebirth, death, harsh life lessons. But I think divine's like literally going to like change you around. You'll be a different person in about 6 months to a year. You will be unrecognizable. You will not be, people not be able to like, I mean it, they will not be able to physically recognize you. I'm not even talking about like symbolically, they'll not be able to recognize you're a con, you're a con. No, they will actually not be able to recognize you. You not only will you look different on the surface, your mindset would change. How you conduct yourself would change. Everything will transform. You'll be a much elevated human being. So whoever is going through this crucible, I am with you. Your 144,000 brothers and sisters are with you on this journey, which reminds me I have to thank someone. Okay, I'll come back to that. So okay, so we are all with you. If you ever feel, all right, that you're alone on this journey, you're absolutely not. We all have been there, and God is always with us, by the way, and we are always with each other. We are one single big brain. Okay, so if you ever feel anxious, if you feel that, oh my God, kaise hoga, ye to bahut difficult hai, kuch hai, just connect with one of us, any one of us, whoever you resonate with, whoever you feel that this has to be my soul tribe, just connect with us. That's it, you'll feel better. All right, anyways, I also have to, and his name was given to me, like somebody else was talking about something else, and it was like reminded to me that name, that person also had the same name, the first name was same. So I have to thank one of my soul brothers, Jordan. Like I said, somebody else also reminded me today. They were talking some absolutely different conversation somebody else was having, and they also talked about some Jordan, and I was reminded at that same time that yes. So I have to thank Jordan about like a beautiful, piece of wisdom that he helped me with. I see, same way I needed some direction, and he came up with something that I needed to hear, I needed to understand at the time. So thank you, Jordan. I know he's getting he's receiving this this gratitude, I'm sure. Thank you so much, my brother. I needed to hear that day. So thank you very much. Anyway, so okay, so crucible we have covered. Okay, so Divine wanted to talk about something. Okay, I literally started this reading again with saying that that what the Divine had asked me this question, that which gift do you think would be the most powerful divine gift, right? And I told you that I think that it could be your heart. Like if you're able to still be good towards the world in spite your heart being shattered into 1,000 pieces, if someone's been able to like still, that has to be the biggest divine gift, that they are still able to sustain love, they're still able to sustain gratitude. That has to be the strongest, most important, the most powerful divine gift. And divine said, no, wrong answer. Like, no. Wrong answer. It is wisdom. Alright, there's something she's like, I keep giving her these nuggets and she still keeps on. It was literally, I was like, no, it is wisdom. So on a serious note, the wisdom divine is like the most important. I want to reiterate this, that it is wisdom. So if you are given some knowledge, if you are, let's say, if you are able to like understand something, you get a sign, a symbol from the universe, from the divine, please accept it graciously. Alright, graciously. ये बहुत ज़्यादा important है, बहुत ज़्यादा depth है इसमें than that superficial pluck knowledge that you all have. Like, trust me, I'm talking about the karmics. I know the collective is here because they want to be here, they want to learn. But a lot of people are like, ये क्या होता है? It's like, जाओ ABCD सीखो पहले, जाओ A for apple, B for boy करो तुम अभी तो. Anyways, but it was my job to say that. There's a why I reiterated this, because there's a second bit that divine then gave me. He was like that. So divine, like, there's one sin that he, she, they, okay, don't come with genders to me. I'm really do not कि divine ही होता है, she होता है, जो तुम्हारे को अच्छा लगता है वैसे कर लो, ठीक है. So there's a one sin that God will, so there was something that he talked about. There is one sin that God the Almighty never forgives. It is blasphemy. Alright, that there's one thing. आप सब कुछ forgive कर देते हैं, आप कोई गलती करते हो, consciously करते हो, but हाँ, again there's but आप consciously you create a plan to like uproot. I talked about this. Uproot someone's life, कि इसको बर्बाद कर देंगे, इसको ये कर देंगे, will bring her to knees, will bring him to knees, she will have to like listen, something all those lines, right? Or again, divine just doesn't forgive that. Karma will never forgive you. Lord Shani Dev is not going to forgive you. That is I can guarantee you that. I've literally had this conversation, almost in a way, one-way conversation, where he talked about literally that this karma, there is no way to fool Shani Dev. Okay, you can रो सकते हो शिव जी के सामने, जो कर्म जी करोगे दिल पगला लो. You can try to do whatever you want, like make him understand whatever. He's very compassionate, and he listens to everyone, all right? But there is no way you can get around doing any shit when it comes to Lord Vishnu, all right, Shri Hari, or Lord Shanidev. There is no way around it. जो मर्जी कर, रोना धोना सर फोड़ना, जो कर लो, जो मर्जी कर लो, do whatever you want, जो penance करना है कर लो, they will not let it go. You think तुमने बहुत बड़े पाप कर लिए, उसके बाद तुम रो धो लोगे, तो भगवान के सामने 4 आंसू गिरा दोगे, and you will think, भगवान मुझे माफ कर दो, I never meant to do that. While you did, you meant to take something, steal something from someone, you want to ruin somebody's life, you want to ruin their, break that person, crush that person into pieces, you want to like bend their reality, break them, take away everything from them, करे ले लेंगे, पैसे ले लेंगे, सब खत्म कर देंगे, that kind of. And you go after that, when it backfires, you go to God and say, मुझे माफ कर दो. Not gonna happen. जिसके पास चले जाओ, नहीं. Lord Shani Dev and Lord Vishnu will not let it go. Alright. Similar, there are things that I said that they don't forgive. Is blasphemy. Now, what is blasphemy? We talk about like मोटा terms. You'll think blasphemy is like being disrespectful towards God, being uttering like, mostly किस sense में use होता है when we know certain idiots, they utter profanities, right? That is what we see it. Blasphemy is also when you're trying to like hurt someone's faith. That is also blasphemy in a way. In a way, क्या है? It's an aspect of it. Like, it's not just your calling. When you're being blessed by divine, or you see someone else being blessed by divine, and you just try to hurt their faith, they are thankful to God, but you hurt their faith and saying, ये तो दिया नहीं भगवान ने, ये तो ऐसा है, हो ही नहीं सकता, ये तो इधर का है, तो उधर का है, सब ऐसा है, ये वैसा है. I don't want to say those words, but you know what I'm trying to say. When you take that, let's say in mota terms, very elementary terms, when you try to take the credit away from divine, that is also blasphemy. Remember this. That is again, and why did I come to this? Because divine said these are blasphemy is something that I do not forgive. So you'll have to go through karma. There's no way to, again, you'll be on your knees, confession karoge, and ye kar doge, wo kar doge, Bhagwan maaf kar do, 4 आंसू बहा दोगे, पीट लोगे, मम्मी पापा पूरे खानदान को sorry बोलने के लिए लगा दोगे. Nothing will happen. Divine will not let that go. If you hurt someone's faith, they are being blessed, they are being grateful to God, and you are hurting their faith, that's blasphemy. Remember this. So be very careful when you go around saying ungrateful stuff. And this applies also to you. Let's say God has blessed you with stuff and you मैंने किया है, मैंने तुमने कुछ नहीं करा, भगवान ने bless करा, खूबसूरत हो, भगवान ने bless करा. You think you look very beautiful, you've been blessed by divine, you haven't done anything. That can be changed in a split second, in a snap of finger, it can be changed. You think you have a lot of money, can be changed. Again, snap of finger, divine can take it away. Everything, but you're not grateful to God. You think you have done it. Ravan ho tum, right? Ravan. Same way. So that's blasphemy. That is unforgivable sin. Remember this. I don't know why. I wrote this down and divine gave me this because. Okay, I won't talk about it, but yeah, divine gave me this, saying that a persistent, conscious, and willful rejection of God's grace and truth can be interpreted or will be interpreted as attributing or, okay, one second, it is again very quickly written. So, a persistent, conscious, and willful rejection of God's grace and truth, often interpreted as attributing the word of God to the, let's say, to the devil, or refusing to, kind of accepting that as कि भाई ये तो भगवान ने दिया. Or even सबसे बुरा होगा when you've been given something by God, or somebody else has been given something by God, have been blessed by God, and you're saying पता है कैसे मिला इसको, ये ऐसे है, सब ऐसे है. That is blasphemy. You are taking credit away for God's work. Who are you? Somebody's been blessed by God, and you're like ऐसे मिला, किसी ने दिया ये, God ने दिया. Somebody has earned it by their hard work, by their inner work. And you go around spreading lies and slander and whatever you want to do. You think you're doing whatever, I should say rather. And saying, nahi, God ne nahi diya. It's not been given by God. It's not a divine gift. That's blasphemy. Blasphemy. Just remember this. Unforgivable sin. Uske baad jo rona dhana karna, this is not going to go through Lord Shanidev. It won't go through Lord Vishnu. It won't go through Lord Shanidev. Your karma is being judged. You're being harshly judged. You will be judged. Rightly judged, rather I should say. But Lord Shanidev, he's a God, right? He would judge your karma. He would judge it. Alright, so just remember that. I don't know why this came in very strongly. I think he was feeling something in my environment. And then he started with saying that, what do you think is the most important gift? Which one? And then that was the next. That just is one thing, one sin that I do not forgive. And that's that. Alright, today he gave me clarity on 777, angel number 777. And I was like, even dekha to hai nahi subah se. I get a lot of 777, alright, a lot of it. I get a lot of numbers, 777 and 777 also. And it's I have said it in the past, and I'm sure you would also know, it's a very jackpotty energy, very jackpot का हमेशा मतलब ये नहीं होता कि financial abundance. Excuse me. Oh, confirmation. It could be spiritual abundance, right? You've been blessed by divine various ways. Wisdom, अगर let's say आपको wisdom ही मिल रही है, that's abundance. Abundance, as he says, it's the most powerful divine gift. Okay, so it could be, kind of attributed to that. I remember when he gave me this clarity on 777, I was like, 777 देखा तो नहीं यार, ना ही मैंने 77 देखा, ना ही मैंने 777 देखा. Yeah, 77, no, I saw it once in the morning. I think it was just once, and that too fleetingly. All right. And it was came. And after that, right, I'm sorry, I don't know why am I switching to Hindi so much today. But after that, he gave me, I think I got 77 and 777 at least, I'm not kidding you, at least 50 times. At least. Ballpark. I was like, I didn't get it today. He was like, oh, do you want some? It was almost like that. All right. So, okay, let's see. What did he want to talk? Divine wanted to talk about 777. He says is a number of, it's basically a number of God. I did not know something else about 666. I just think it's a very good number. 666 बहुत अच्छा number होता होगा. But eventually, apparently 666 leads to like it indicates in humans imperfections. We are not perfect in a lot of ways. So it talks about imperfections that we need to look at, and we tonight just work on our flaws, work on our imperfections, and just get back into alignment or something. Okay, come back to 777. So this is the number of God. Okay, it says it symbolizes divine perfection, completeness, and the Holy Trinity. So it's like the Holy Trinity carrying Christianity when it talks about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The 18th section, there's like basically the one entity, but it has like 3 different aspects to it. All right, the Father, the Son, the Father as in the divine Father, and then the Son would be Jesus, let's say, and the Holy Spirit. These are 3 aspects of the same one God that they have, right? So it is so it says completeness and the Holy Trinity. 777 indicates that Holy Trinity, that amalgamation, the unity of the 3 aspects of God. And 7 is also attributed into the like 7 days of creation, right? Because Bible may say like on the 7th day, this earth was created. I said it was first, second, third day. I said like it was like stages, and the 7th day is when the task was complete. All right, when this universe or this earth was created, ऐसे कुछ था, right? So that is when the 7th day is the completion day. That is when like let's say a chapter has you've successfully completed a mission, let's say. All right, and then you're now going to be on your next mission / assignment. It could be that, almost like that you've completed something, that coming into unity. Or it could also mean that you're being complete alignment with your mind, body, and soul is in complete, is in alignment with the divine. All right, it could be in alignment with you, could be in alignment with yourself. You could be literally reaching unity within yourself, like the divine masculine, the divine feminine inside you uniting, you becoming a complete person. All right, it could point towards that also. It could point towards spiritual, and this is all spiritual, esoteric aspects. I'm not talking about any physical aspect here. All right, you could feel the physical, the 3D aspect of it in terms of good health, radiance, beauty, confidence. That could like really just radiate out of you. That's only like a side effect of it in a way. Like it's only just like it could just manifest in 3D as that, but otherwise it's all spiritual. This is all spiritual aspect. You coming into union with yourself, that's it. That is the greatest union that there could be. That literally you uniting with the God inside you that's it. That's all that is needed for you to like literally just be in that, get another siddhi, I would say. All right, that came in. What else? 777. Like I said, I asked for it and they were like, you want some? Here you go. I have 404 also, but then that's gonna take a little while. Okay, this next one was that this was given to me this was given to me on Friday, I think. Yes, that was the day when I was supposed to come to you with the reading. That's how I'm like recalling it, but I wasn't able to. I'm sorry, my collective. All right, and so this was this term was Maya. All right, now this was thrown at me from so many angles. I understood that this has to be from one of my collective. I've had Maya thrown at me from so many that I was like, in fact, to an extent that I was like booking a conference room somewhere, and the conference room's name was also Maya. I could not get around it. Anything I would open had Maya. I opened a book. First page, the prologue had the first page itself. had Maya in caps. I was like, yeah, this word is yelling at me. Divine's like, so Maya, what is Maya, right? Maya is illusion, a veil. Or I think why this was given to me was like, you've been able to break this veil. Veil is like it's the veil of ignorance in a way, like you were how a normal, unawakened soul, right? Normal in that sense, like normal, an unawakened, let's say general public, okay, the ones that are not spiritual or who are just on getting on the spiritual journey, okay, let's be just nice to everyone, okay, those ones that they see everything through that veil. All right, that is why. So what do you mean? Let's say if I have a veil over my face right now, over my head right now, I'll not be able to see things clearly. Just saying, right? If I had like literally put something over my head, or my eyes, which goes through this, I will not be able to see things. That's exactly what it means. When you have a veil between you and reality, a bigger reality, the bigger 144 on the clock, a bigger things, let's say, again, like for instance, I was just talking about like these esoteric meta things. You'll not be able to see it. Most people see like these are things that are only available to them through this veil. They don't see, they can't lift that veil. It is not something that you can easily lift. What can lift the soul? Wisdom, spirituality, meditation. That can only be able to, so the reality is something else. People see their 3D selves as the ultimate reality. It is not the ultimate reality. It is the reality is actually behind that veil, and they don't see it. So generally, jo bhi hota hai, kitna hota, one in a, let's say one person, and I'm being very generous, 10,000 logon mein one person is awakened, truly awakened soul, like a chosen light. And I'm being very generous when I'm saying that 10,000 zyada hota hai. Let's say 1 lakh logon mein ek jana koi awakened hai, one person is awakened, truly awakened. All right, truly awakened. Only that one person is able to see through that veil. Rest everybody is looking at things, while through it, but not through it. You know what I'm trying to say, right? So, okay, let's put it this way. There's for that one awakened soul, the veil is not there. They have lifted the veil, rather. Thank you, Divine. They have lifted the veil, and the other people are looking through the veil. So obviously the reality is going to be different for that awakened soul. He sees things differently. He can perceive things differently. He can look at the larger picture. All right, and they can actually see reality, as I'm saying. तो कौन बेवकूफ लगेगा उनमें, वो बेचारा एक अकेला ही बेवकूफ लगेगा. That is what is going to happen. Rest all of the 9,909. Oh, rest everybody else. Again, I forgot how many people we were talking about here. Everybody else is going to like find that one soul, let's say, different, weird, crazy, because they're able to see that person is able to see things the other people cannot see because they have a veil over their eyes. They can't see it. That one soul can see stuff, can perceive things, that reality is different for them. All right, a lot of these people will come and delulu. No, they actually know stuff that you cannot see. They can see stuff you can't see, and I've been using the word see metaphorically here. All right, so that is one, that veil is it. So I do feel that you are my collective. If you feel, I'm sure this would give you some comfort in knowing that you are different from the rest, and just get used to that. I'm used to it. I don't even try to kind of even try to be with the crowd anymore now. I left that a million years ago. How I see reality is very different from others, how others see it. I don't have an awakened soul around me, not one. All right, so you need to understand that you will also feel the same way. This is how the journey is supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to be. If you think you've been pushed into isolation by whatever, that is that isolation. You have not been pushed into isolation by circumstances. You have not been put into isolation. Sorry, it's very tired. 10:30 ho bhi gaye. Sorry. So you are there in that isolation mode, in that hermit mode. Look at it like a hermit mode by the grace of God. Not enemy, not circumstances, not nobody, not confirmation. Confirmation. So just know that nobody else has put you there. God has put you there for you to be able to go inwards. You will, if you look, see, it's supposed to be that way. I'm trying to just make things clearer to you. There's somebody who's going through this in that crucible period, and it could be quite harsh. Life could be quite harsh for you, but I'm telling you, you'll just know the moment you get the glimpse, like I said earlier, of that purpose. You'll just understand everything. Everything will make sense to you. Just so you know that if you are in that period, you'll learn to relish it. You'll learn how much you can learn in that hermit mode. Hermit mode it's a huge part of your journey. It's an integral part of your journey, and it has to be. You cannot be surrounded by people. You cannot have that noise in your ear. You cannot be with people, rather I should say, in order to learn. You have to be away from them to be able to understand, to be able to perceive reality. Otherwise, you'll keep on seeing things from their perspective, and you don't want that, right? If you want to awaken yourself, that hermit mode is what is absolutely essential. And at the cost of repeating myself, I'm telling you, it's not any op that has put you there. It's not circumstances that have put you there. It is literally divine who has put you there. All right, so just so you know that Maya is what you have to lift. You have to lift that veil, and once you do that, it's not easy, but it will come with practice. And if you are been put into isolation, that means God understands and like has put you in that. It's a part of that process. Yeah, thank you, Divine. It's a part of that process. Alright, I do think it's thoda sa heavy ho gaya abhi. We'll just let's just keep the downloads to this. I do have more. Trust me, I have more. Right under Maya, I have something else also. And there are ones from a very huge one that is still lingering. I'm going to do, I promise to do that next time. I'm going to do that next time. I promise. It's like I said in the past also. The big one. I totally forgot about that today. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the chi and that together too. Whenever I do my next reading. Okay, let's do the cards. Satyuga had come in and we talked about Satyuga only. This literally flew away. Satyuga, and that is where with Lord Ram's period, when Mata Sita and Lord Ram went through what they went through, right? Meaningful. See, it's right here. I broke the deck. Again, you know what I mean by when I say I broke the deck. Meaningful. It's all going to be where everything is meaningful. It's not just happening, okay, aisa ho gaya. Kuch aisa ho nahi gaya. You've been put in that corner. Relish it, I'm telling you. Relish it, because you're going to learn so much. When I started that I was put into hermit mode. I love to be in hermit mode, even still. That is my best part of the day. Literally. Alright. You'll understand that how much time others waste. You'll observe this. Wisdom, you'll understand today's lesson that Divine said. That is the biggest, the most strongest divine gift is wisdom. It is. You will understand that. It'll change you entirely. You will be a different person. Once you come out of it. The door, not the awakening. That's going to go on. And then there's several other awakenings also, bro. So whoever it is, yeah, I know. It's going to take a little time. 144 on the clock. So chosen, you've been chosen for this. So there's a reason your spirit can do stuff. You're on a mission because your soul was chosen for this and you agreed to do this. Just remember this. All right. Okay, let's just take a few cards from my deck. All right. Okay, let's just take these. Okay, he's sure got them. Okay. Oh my god. What the deck has here is dark magic. Okay. Last time white magic aaya tha, remember? Dark magic. Whatever. I told you this is a high vibrational day, so a lot of other negative entities also try to partake because it's high vibration. So it's Look at it this way, it's like highly charged. So you can use it for good, and the ones that have ill intentions, they use it for whatever they want to use it for. Idiots. Let's do our cards. Okay. We have lack mentality. कौन है ये poverty ridden लोग? There's a card right under it. 1 second. I thought so. Oh no, it's just one. Okay. And it looked like two. Lack mentality. It could be literally those people. I think it's just when they don't understand the grace of God, that is poverty. Something's been gifted to you, something has been given to you, and you are not grateful and thankful to divine for that. I would call it poverty. Lack mentality, poverty of the mind. And when someone else has been gifted with something, but you attribute that to, you don't attribute it to God. You don't give God credit for that. That's also, I would call it lack mentality. Battle. Lack mentality. Battle. Oi hoy, who's going to this? Lack mentality wale he are going through a battle. I'm 100% sure. What do you say, Divine? They are going through a battle. Yeah, of course. Now, either they are getting the karma for whatever they've done. Okay, what is happening today? Allowance. Okay, 111 on the clock. Okay. Battle. Allowance. Issues. क्या है ये क्यों? Everything was perfectly fine. It still is. Everyone's happy. All the archangels are like looking pretty happy right now. Eventually, what is this negative energy in the cards today? Hang on. Eventually, so lack mentality, battle, allowance, issues, eventually. Solar plexus chakra. So I would say your alignment, your confidence, your radiance, your initiative, your drive, your passion, that's solar plexus. Lack mentality. It's two ends, right? Lack mentality, ek taraf on one end. And then solar plexus chakra, what it stands for, it's on the other end. Somebody could be trying to project lack mentality on your solar plexus. Could be. I'm sure it's going to just lies. Okay. Lies is right under lack mentality. By spreading lies. Okay. इनके ऊपर ही आ जाएगा वापस. I guarantee you that. I have this feeling. I still don't feel the energy. I'm not feeling it. So it is not for you, collective. I think it could be like this. Could be a battle that your ops are going through right now. We are all good here. I'm telling you, we are all good. We all 5 of us agree. All the 4 archangels, everybody agree. And the seraphim, I love you too. Everybody agrees right now. This is not our energy. Lack mentality, battle, allowance, issues, eventually, okay. Solar plexus, lies. So they could be literally just going through all this. Elements is right, and the pink card. Elements is right under the pink card battle. These are only 2 pink cards we have, and it come right under battle. Elements. They could be battling the elements right now. Literally, I mean, they could literally, let's say, a very elementary example of this would be they could get stuck in rain. They could be having some problems at home they could be having respiratory issues. They could be something like that. Elements are against them. Battling in the ethers also. Let me see what is happening here. Facts and lies. So facts are actually under allowance. But we have lies also here. Lack mentality, battle, allowance. Is it for money? It's money related, pentacles related problems, issues. Something has been lied upon. It could be a lie related to pentacles, right? Lie related to money. That is what this person could be battling right now, or trying to control the fire. battling the elements. But elements are against this person. Like literally the elementary gods are against this person. There's no way around it. When we say elements, I mean like air, water, right? Everything, ethers, even. And the ethers is what came to my mind first. Straight. Issues. And straight is right under issues. These are like, as I say, straighter. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, I'm fairly certain these are pentacles issues, money related issues. Reality. Did we not talk about reality today? That veil, just talked about it, that veil of illusion Maya, that you have to lift, or you have been able to lift and rest, and you can actually see reality as is, right? And not through the veil, but beyond it. Transformation, we talked about this, your ultimate transformation. And your reality is again, right? Okay, let me come to that. Reality is under eventually. So eventually you will be able to lift the veil, or I don't know what is the reality eventually. And transformation is under solar plexus chakra. Yeah, so I think they could have tried to attack your solar plexus, but apparently this became like this backfired or something, brother. This backfired, this attack backfired on your solar plexus, perhaps apparently backfired, and eventually for you, eventually it turned up, it resulted, the outcome was a transformation, a spiritual and a physical transformation. क्या चाहिए मिस्टर? दूसरा फोन yeah. Okay, and this could be related to a brother. I do feel this has something to do. This could be like a brother could be like someone like a brother, or literally be a sibling. Doesn't mean, or you could be the brother and this could be about your sister, or that means a sibling. So take it like symbolically. Brother could be like a sibling, or someone who's a very close friend who's like a brother, or okay, these want to like really come. Yeah, okay, I want to flip, like, let me just, because this energy is very weird, quite weird. You haven't picked on this, like, really, it is really weird. It's not for you, collective, I'm giving you a guarantee that neither it is coming or not. Is this someone else going through this? Okay, let's just take a few cards. Let's just take, ऐसे थोड़ा बहुत लेते बीच में से 10 से 1 2, alright, and then let's just take यहाँ से 1 2 1 2. I'm speaking a lot of Hindi today. I have no idea why. Channeling in Hindi maybe. Hang on. Okay, lots, but okay. So the cost, or something that just literally, this has been a trend today. Everything is sliding out. Even the big blessing, when I opened my box, it just slid out like this, the big blessing card. Okay, and the same way cost, it just literally was out of the box. Cost, this entire bunch, and on top of it was cost. Somebody could be paying a price for all that blasphemous work. I don't know why Divine Light gave me that whole blasphemy thing. Okay, anyways, so Lord Vishnu, did we not talk about Lord Vishnu? I said Lord Shanidev and Lord Vishnu, you cannot work around them. You can't just go and just do and they'll be like, oh beta koi baat nahi, chalo. Aise nahi, Lord Vishnu and Lord Shanidev, no freaking way. I love him so much. I really do. I love him. Sing his praise. Sing Lord Vishnu's praise. Oh, it just came in together. I'm glad the energy changed, because ये सब भारी भारी energy भैया अपने पाप अपने पास रखो. Sometimes I feel यार for these karmics, पाप अपने पास रखो. Anyways, Lord Vishnu and sing his praise. I'm going to put it here. Okay, so but now it's supposed to be under. Sing his praise has come under lack mentality, lies, and then sing his praise. Somebody was trying to project that lack mentality on you, on your solar plexus, my collective. You could be like I said, could be like very radiance, abundance. It's a side effect of the spiritual journey. You'll get लगता है हाँ मर रहे हैं हम, हर रोज मरते हैं, हर रोज जीते हैं, but you come out as a different person altogether. All right, you were in that crucible, you come out as a completely different, like, identity change. You're not that same person no longer, because that person has died several deaths. There's no way you'll be around, you'll be the same person, right? You don't even look like it. You don't even look like your former selves, right? Selves, I said selves, remember, because there's so many versions that you'll go through. You don't look any of your former selves, right? So my point is, this person is trying to project that on your solar plexus. भैया इसका तो बड़ा rebirth or growth or evolution हो जा रहा है. I need to pull this person down, give them lack mentality. Make them, what is now lack mentality? Make them, it's like that 5 of Pentacles energy where you see the glass half empty kind of mentality. When you don't see the blessings in your life, when you don't see what you have inside you, you don't see it. आपको लगता है आप तो सिंड्रेला हो, अब तो बेचारी हो रहा, तो somebody else will come and the night will have to come and save you. You're like stuck in this prison cell. You know what I mean? That's lack mentality. Now you see why that was given to me, why it is coming together now. So you are not the Cinderella, bro. You are the knight. And again, and for the nth time, you are here to save others, not just yourself, to save others. You're not here to be saved. You're here to save others. You're here to lead. You're here to guide. All right? So that lack mentality is what they're trying to project. Ulta hi ho gaya inke upar. But they tried it, is what you need to know. Divine is telling you that. But need to know in the sense like just keep it in your mind. That's it. All right? But then sing his praise. Divine did not allow that. You, in a way, let's say, sang his praise. You remembered your lessons. You remembered, even if it was a spiritual attack, let's say they attacked your mind psychically, you remembered everything. You know your God. You know that how far you have come. You understand your blessings. You see your blessings. You understand, you appreciate it, and you're thankful and grateful to God. That's all it needed. All right? High Tower. It's not the Tower card. It's the High Tower. All right? High Tower. Battle, elements, High Tower. So High Tower, I do feel that you are perceiving this situation, or that's how you came. When this was projected at you, you saw this from a higher perspective, right? That's how, like, perched on a, when you see things from a, you're not seeing it from this level, you're seeing it from a higher level. That let's say, what is a higher level? Higher level is like, what is it trying to teach me? Why am I here? Why did this happen? If this happened, God put me through this, why was I put through this? Why? What is the lesson here? What am I supposed to correct here? Why am I feeling this way? Why was I given this experience? Those are the High Tower moments, as in you're looking at it from already a winner's perspective. Getting my point? This is what we see when we win. We look back, right? And normally that's how a regular human being would like look at their experience. कि क्यों बाद में पता लगता है, हाँ, when we take stock कि अच्छा ये हुआ था, अच्छा इसलिए हुआ था. You're doing that while you're having the experience. You're already a winner. You're doing it as a winner. Your mentality is that of a winner. You're already doing it while being in the experience. Not later, not 10 years later. You're doing it now. What is it trying to teach me? Why am I here? If this is repeating, why is this repeating? Why, if this has come into my life, why did Divine introduce this in my life? Those are the kind of questions you look at it. You look at things that way, and that is why you're not in that lack mentality. All right? What is the next one? It says chaos or confusion. Okay, so chaos and confusion. Now, interestingly, see this. It is under allowance, which is money, right? Under facts. All right, so chaos or confusion, facts, allowance. I'm getting, this is a lot of energy around your money. Like a lot of chaos, confusion. Again, that same could be like, oh, why, how is this person doing better? And again, I feel inclined to say this could be again about not just your spiritual, like not just your 3D money, but your 5D money as well, as in your spiritual abundance. That how are you able to come out on top of everything? Getting your point? How are you so abundant? How are you happy? How are you not internalizing these experiences? They were supposed to break you, crush you. How are you here? How are you evolving? That sort of chaos or confusion. There was a lot of chaos or confusion that was created, that veil Maya, that was created around real facts. Like facts, they're real, right? The facts remain facts. They don't change. They're permanent, right? But there was a lot of chaos or confusion created around that by your ops. I do feel it. But now it's backfiring in their own life, and it's backfiring on their money. So ये बेटा जो करोगे वो मिलेगा. Anyway, supreme award. जो करोगे वही मिलेगा. Supreme award. जो करोगे. If you do the good things. Remember, myth of he recalled the entire, that's how Plato wrote that down, that jo achhe karte hain, people go into that for 10,000 years, right? They go into the heaven, the first their experiences are like accounted for, all right? There are judges sitting at the gate, the 2 gates in the heaven, 2 gates towards, aiming towards like hell or patal or whatever you want to call it, right? And they judge your experience, they judge your karma, and then they send you for 10,000 years. Supreme Abode, so you will do well. Issues straight Supreme Abode. Supreme Abode is right under issues straight Supreme Abode. So I do feel Supreme Abode here. Why is it placed here? Let me check. Why is it placed here? Then fight. Very different. What is this energy? What is happening in the background? Even divine is trying to tell us things in the background. The fight is under eventually reality and fight. I do feel the facts and reality are fighting back. That chaos or confusion or the Maya that was created around the facts is now breaking down. And the Supreme Abode is literally divine right in the middle of all this. Divine is right in the middle. The Supreme Abode is right in the middle of chaos or confusion and fight. It's like almost like divine is saying, I will sit here and I will just create this havoc in your life now, karmic. Something like that. Like you get to now feel it. Let's see how you do. Everything into 100. Question. Did divine not answer our questions today? I said like which one of the divine gifts do you think is the most powerful? Divine asked, and then told me which ones, that this is the sin. There was like literally a question answer session that I had, but question is under solar plexus, transformation and question. So they really want you to question your identity, question the outcome, question whether you won, question your spiritual journey. They want to question your transformation. They are attacking your solar plexus. Simple. And it's just backfired. It is right under solar plexus transformation question. Yeah, they want to do that. Wanted you to like just be in doubt, be in this veil, have that Maya around you wherein you're not able to see reality. You're only able to see what you're shown by the 3D world. Nothing beyond that. That limited, wanted you to have like limited perspective. 1 hour 28 minutes. Let's just wrap this up after this. And then temporary. Okay, brother. Then brother ke niche Lord Vishnu. Then we have temporary. Brother, Lord Vishnu, temporary. What is temporary here, divine? Please explain temporary to me. Child of God. Temporary, child of God. Why should I sing this? Sing his praise, may then child of God. What is temporary here, divine? Lord Ganesha. I have Lord Vishnu, Lord Ganesha come in. All the elements come in. The Supreme Abode come in. Wow. radiant, youthful, what is it? Radiant, youthful, and abundant. Right under it. Okay, now that's not under. Some mix ho gaya, okay? Teacher and coach. Temporary. Okay, teacher and coach. I think whatever you're doing right now could be quite temporary. You're going to like be put into a much more higher position, whatever you're doing right now, with due respect, whatever you're doing, my collective, but you're being forged right now. You're in the crucible, right? You're being forged for a much higher position. I do feel whatever you're doing is quite temporary. You will be taken out of this quite quickly, or you're already out of it. You're already doing it. You're in your purpose, something like that, something on those lines. It's 1 hour 30 minutes, yeah. I could do. Let's just do a little bit more. Let's just do, while we are at it. Or just do a. As already we actually have the answers, but let's see. Safe. Okay, these are same cards. We had literally the same bunch I picked. Safe, imprison, heart of Raha. We have had these cards before. So Divine is saying, I've answered your questions today. So no more cards. That's it. One said no. Also, my throat is closing now. Again, the cost is right here. Can I take out one? One said no, will not. Okay, so let me just put these back, my collective. Why is everybody temporary also wants to fly away? Temporary wants to fly away and become what? What do you want to become permanent? What are you looking for? Black lies. Lord Ganesha, welcome. Okay, isn't Lord Ganesha and Krishna? Lord Krishna, which is a form of Lord Vishnu. Isn't Lord Ganesha Lord Vishnu in a way? I do feel, because I know that they both are in each other's families. When I say they both, as in Lord Shiva is in Sri Hari's family always, and Sri Hari's is always in Lord Shiva's family. I do feel Lord Ganesha is Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. I do feel. I want to check that 1 second. I think they both are the same. 1 second. 11-1. Damn. Not damn, sorry. I have to do things. But my husband's cooking today, so. But anyways, okay. So what Lord? Yeah, while they're separate entities, they are often considered divine manifestations of the same supreme divine energy. Of course, all of the deities are, but I don't know why this came to my head, that they both are the same. Krishna, as an avatar of Vishnu, is considered the maternal uncle of Ganesha, as Vishnu is deemed the brother of Parvati. They share a bond of mutual respect where Ganesha removes obstacles. Really? I didn't know this. Krishna in Brahma Vaivarta Puran, Krishna plays a pivotal role in Ganesha's birth story, including the incident where Ganesha lost his tusk. I know, I don't know where I read this, but I think my favorite author, Jairam, I think said something about they both are the same entities. I mean, he must have just seen something very similar in both of them. I don't know, I'll research on that, but it came to my head that they both are the same. They both are the same. Anyways, okay. 1 hour 34 minutes, my collective. Thank you so much for your patience. I'm eternally grateful and thankful to both of you, to all of you. Both of you, I meant my beautiful, beautiful angels, and my seraphims, everybody. I don't know why I said actually both of you. Who are the both? I don't know. Anyways, oh, I probably meant both as in Lord Vishnu and Lord Ganesha. I'm very thankful and grateful to both of them. And to you, my collective, thank you so much for being so patient. I'm sorry it's 11:05 and I'm getting tired now. So I will wrap this up, and I will see you very soon again. Until then, have a wonderful, wonderful time. I'll see you very, very soon. I promise. Thank you. Bye.